You know, let me look at a couple, trying to balance the budget at home, okay? At home, just put that face on it, okay?
Been there.
Senator Whitmire says. And you're trying to balance the budget, okay? Obviously, costs are increasing. You have kids, like Senator Hager. I mean, obviously, those costs are going to go high. And if you're not making ends meet, then you gotta tell, if you and your wife are sitting down and trying to balance a budget, especially on this bill, now that you're going outside of balance and add extra money on there, you're sitting at home trying to balance your budget. I mean, you're at the end of your way, especially during this economy. And you think to yourself, well, look, if we're going to keep our kids in school and add the extra costs, the mortgage, and every other bill that a couple has to pay in Texas, then the obvious thought is to go to your savings and to make ends meet. And a lot of people are doing that right now, is they're going to balance a budget. That's what we're trying to do here, is balance a budget. And when you try to balance a budget, it's just common sense that you go to your savings. Our savings is the rainy day fund. That's where our savings are, and that's where it's obvious that's where we would go to. It's no difference than what people are doing right now in their own homes here. Texans are doing there in the kitchen table trying to make ends meet. And I would suggest to you that, because we're going outside the bounds, that the rainy day fund be included on that as our savings, and try to help our folks out there that are trying to balance their budgets. And that's, we're looking at a way to at least ease the pain here, Senator Duncan, and that's the way, I believe that's the way to do it.
Well, we did use almost $3.2 billion in the rainy day fund. We were lucky to get $1 billion more, a little over $1 billion more in extra revenue certified by the controller, and then we've, I think, used what are typically traditional cash management tools that are necessary, which are included in this bill, to try to resolve that. I don't think any of us wanted to cut schools, didn't want to cut or higher ed either, but it was like kind of in 2003 when we had the economic downturn as well. We, I think, wrote the best budget we could write, and I heard Senator Ogden say this many times, given the circumstances that we had. And we did it, while the vote wasn't always, while the vote might have been partisan, I was very impressed with the hard work and effort and contribution that all members, in a bipartisan way, contributed. Even though the vote didn't reflect that, there was a lot of work by a lot of folks. This body worked well together, despite what the vote indicated on that budget. So, I think we've tried. We're doing the best we can. I would have liked to have used more of the rainy day fund, like many of you, but you can't have it your way every time in this body. It just doesn't work that way, and I understand that because I've certainly been on the receiving end of that many times in my career here in the Texas Senate.
Well, Senator, I know you did a good job on this bill, and I voted for it. I didn't want to.
You helped. You were a significant help in getting this bill passed off the floor, and I do appreciate that.
And I didn't want to seem like an obstructionist. And I just felt I knew this was a trigger for the budget, and I knew that we had to have it. So I showed good faith in voting for it. But I also understand that we have other options in more of the rainy day fund, and I believe that should be going in, especially now that we're going outside the bounds into 1811, to show the folks, the Texans out there that are having problems balancing their budgets, that we care about them too, and we're also willing to go into our savings, our rainy day fund, to help them out there. And that's why I feel real strong about it, Senator Duncan, and I think we should have done it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Gallegos.